Regardless of how hard you wheel, eventually things wear out. And for us, it was a wheel bearing. It was time for us to do a little replacement work. Unless you have a 40-ton press sitting in the back of your shop, you're going to need a little professional help with this. We turned to our friends at Auburn Car Repair and Off-Road to give us a hand. On the FJ Cruiser, in order to get to the wheel bearing, we're going to be pulling the axle. First, we're going to want to remove the ABS sensor, the disc brakes, and the discs. On the rear, we're going to have to remove the parking brake as well. And there are quite a few little pieces that are going to have to come apart in order for us to get everything out. The trick to taking the parking brake apart? Slow down and take your time. Carefully pull everything apart, set it aside, and be sure you have all the parts that came off. With the pads removed, it's time to remove the bolts that hold the cable that sets your parking brake. So now's the time to grab a shop rag. We're going to pull the axle completely out of the housing, and that way we can get to the wheel bearing. You'll also want to inspect the seal to see if there's been any damage done to it or any of the other parts around the axle housing. For the repair, you're going to need a few parts besides the actual bearing. There's a couple of seals, a collar, as well as the retaining ring. And this is where the magic happens. Your machinist is going to remove the clip that holds everything together. He's going to set up the press. He's going to effectively push 20 tons or more worth of pressure to separate your bearing and your axle. With everything apart, the guys cleaned up everything and started the reassembly. It was impressive to see just how easy everything comes apart and goes back together when someone knows what they're doing. Now it's time to put our axle back into place and start by adding a little grease to the seal and tapping it into place. Now's a good time to reattach your ABS sensors. Slide your axle back into the housing. Be careful not to damage your seals and then bolt it to the housing. For the parking brake, you're going to want to start with the number 1 shoe. Once you have the number 1 shoe in place, it's time to bring the brake cable back in and connect it up. The brake shoes go back together just like they came apart. So if you're having trouble, check your diagram, take your time, and just work through it. They'll all fit together. After the shoes are in place, adjust the parking brake so it holds tight on those hills. Finally, reinstall your disc brakes, and you're ready to button it up. Thanks to the guys at Auburn Car Repair and Off-Road, we're good to go for another off-road adventure.